When me tell him say me no eat no fish, no meat now. And when me eat them, I wonder when me yam. When me tell him say that I'm a vegan, man.
The reason we emphasize machines and technology is to free man, to pursue the higher things. Machines ought to do the filthy, repetitious, or the boring jobs. It would take 10 years to change the surface of the earth. To save our environment, our stupidity, our conflict, we've got to reorganize our way of thinking and reconsider our social aims. We must put our mind to this as we do to put a man on the moon.
I know I promised for a long time to make a video on the Venus project, and here it is. There's a lot of things that I want to show you in this documentary, especially how our society is not working.
Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot.
They also talked a little bit about the research consumption, and I'll show you exactly what they talked about.
A report states that a global population growth from 7 billion to almost 9 billion is expected by 2040. Demands for resources will rise exponentially. By 2030, requirements for food are projected to rise by 50%, energy by 45%, and water by 30%. We are presently depleting natural resources 50% faster than their planet can renew. At this rate, it is estimated that we'll need 3 more planet Earths to keep up with resource needs as they are today.
Well, how they managed to talk about this without mentioning animal agriculture directly actually puzzled me a little bit. But again, there was so much more that I agreed so much on. And there's just one word I want to say after some of these clips.
Even race hatred is learned. You can be brought up to hate Afro-Americans. You can be brought up to hate Jews, Swedes, all kinds of people.
Exactly.
You put the young kid on your lap and the older kid. Say, I love you both. You never play with any one kid or have a favorite. You say, you can go to the movie, but you can't because you didn't do your homework. When she falls down the stairs, you have a grin on your face. You know what I mean? Not that you're bad, but you feel you've been mistreated.
Exactly.
If you marry the most beautiful girl in the world, and she turns out to be a pain in the butt, that face becomes ugly to you.
Exactly.
They ain't never gonna be no flying machine. If God wanted them to fly, He would give them wings.
Our minds are changed by events.
I changed my mind.
Yeah, me too.
Exactly.
But it isn't the law that prevents crime. It's if you meet the conditions.
These days, rhino poachers come by helicopter, armed with powerful tranquilizers and a chainsaw.
So if you make a law and say that you're not to steal food, they will steal food if that serves their family needs. Any law that's made by man that doesn't fit the circumstances of reality will be violated.
Exactly.
It's corrupted everything. I mean, every institution that we live in is corrupted by money. What's fascinating to me is that we can become enslaved by something that we've created. Not physically, but just mentally enslaved by a notion that was invented by humanity. You know, it is archaic because I think we've grown past what money can do.
It is well enough that the people of the nation do not understand our banking and money system, or if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Henry Ford, Ford Motor Company.
Exactly.
And I always nominated cheeseburgers or fried chicken. And I told you that it was a democracy and you could eat anything you want as long as it was a cheeseburger or fried chicken. Would that be a democracy? I could sell it to you as a democracy because I don't decide whether to eat cheeseburgers or fried chicken. You get to vote in a very large and well-publicized election as to whether we're going with fried chicken or cheeseburger. And people organize into very tribal groups, being very anti-fried chicken and very pro-cheeseburger, or they'll explain to you exactly why cheeseburgers are going to be the end of the world and why fried chicken's going to save you.
Exactly.
And we use artificial pumping in animals to make them grow faster. So if you can multiply the cells of the chicken faster, you can sell it sooner. But does that have an effect on the human body? They don't worry about it. They worry about the sale of chickens.
Exactly.
Actually, it's all the above, son. It's a complicated machine, so it needs all these things working together to make the plane fly. That's a lot like other technologies and even human behavior.
So it's all those things that make it fly.
Exactly, kiddo.
And no matter how wealthy we think we are, it all comes down to one single thing, and that is, what do we do when there is nothing left?
This could easily enable a high standard of living for all. This is what Jacques Fresco had in mind when he proposed a resource-based economy.
If our planet ran out of resources, no matter how much gold or money or possessions you had, you could not survive. Our entire survival is based upon resources.
Only 1/3 of this film actually showed the actual idea for a future that we all can enjoy in a very equal way, really.
The system is self-contained. There are wind generators. All the rooftops are solar generated. All of the garbage and waste is recycled under the ground, underneath these roadways. All of the roadways contain piping running up and back, and we use all that hot water to operate the air conditioning and the needs of the city.
And as it has been said here in this documentary that we have been programmed to do one certain thing but not do the other, this is attractive, this is not, but I tell you right now that this part of the film made me cry.
These are bicycle paths, there are tennis courts, and these are golf courses, but the golf courses contain a clubhouse with all the golf clubs, so you don't have to bring anything out to the golf course. You stay there, play golf. When you're through, you leave your clubs there. These are access buildings where anyone can access books, a violin, musical instrument. Anything that they want is free and available.
These are your research centers. Everything studied in these areas is to improve your standard of living and everybody else there. There would be no lawyers, no bankers, no ad agencies, no insurance people, no salespeople. Without money, you don't need any of those things. So you could go right into solving the problems that all of us have. That's what we'd be working on. Today, we're fighting over people who have different values, and we're fighting over scarce resources. In the future, you won't have to do that. You'd be working cooperatively to improve the standard of living for everyone.
So to summarize how that would be in my reality, to make this video production, I would not need this camera, I would not need my quadcopter. The only thing that I would need is just this memory card, and you know what? I could just go inside this place and say, I need a camera, and they would give me a camera, I would use the camera, and I would leave the camera when I'm done with it, and I say, I need a quadcopter, and still, I just need a small memory card, put it inside there, and then I will have everything stored onto the memory card. I would not need anything, because when you remove all the need, you will remove greed as well. So now that I explained all of this, there is one thing that I've said earlier here that I didn't mention, and that is animal agriculture. The Venus Project would not be possible if you do not remove animal agriculture. People, we need to strive towards that goal, and going vegan is actually one of the biggest steps we can go to actually reach the point of the Venus Project being real. Yes, I'm serious, I want the Venus Project to be real. And you know what? With the help of everyone that watches this video, it can very well happen.